Everybody, welcome to today's show. We have world's premier voice impressionist with us. We're going to have Nick Cruse from Blackout Revolutionary Network up in just a bit, and lots more surprises coming your way today. But first, let's say hello to the world's premier voice impressionist, Mike McRae. Hi, Mike.
Oh, you flatter me, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for today's calls. Can we just jump right into it?
Sure.
Okay. Hey, this is Jimmy. Who's this?
What's up, dude? It's Cash Patel.
FBI Director Patel, how are you today?
Shit's fucking crunk, yo. No cap.
That's great. And what are you up to?
You know me, dude. Busting criminals and inhabiting psycho-spiritual spaces that are fucking liminal. Sorry, I just took a bunch of ketamine.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty clutch, dude. I actually went to Tennessee and spent it with my girlfriend's family for the first time. You know, they had like the whole spread out turkey, all that shit.
Uh-huh.
And all the dudes in her family are like huge country boys, like 6'5". One of them made a joke when they saw me about not having to worry about me eating all the food. So I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I didn't say that, but I thought it. And I fucking ate like a madman, dude. I had like 4 full plates and like a whole pie. They were like, holy shit, dude, this fucker's a real eater. I could tell they were seriously impressed.
My goodness. Did you feel okay afterwards?
Not at all, dude. In fact, I had to go to the hospital with an impacted colon that night. But whatever. I may have been lying face down on a gurney with my ass up in the air, having it looked at by doctors, but at least I proved I'm not a fucking cuck.
Okay.
I could hear her family out in the waiting room laughing, but I know it was not about me. It couldn't have been. I proved myself every bit a man as those fucking hicks. I proved I'm a man. How was yours?
We had a nice time. Thanks for asking.
Fucking sick, dude.
Hey, Mr. Director, I hope you don't mind me asking, but I've come across this story here recently that doesn't make you look too good.
Well, then it's fucking bullshit. It's not true. I'm awesome. That's the headline.
That it has to do with the incident involving your FBI jacket?
Oh, that? What the fuck, dude? That doesn't make me look bad at all. It makes me look like a patriot and a leader.
Can you explain to our listeners, because what I'm hearing is that you wouldn't get off the plane in Utah at the Charlie Kirk assassination crime scene until somebody found you an FBI jacket. And the report is you actually had to put on a woman's medium.
Okay. So when my friend Charlie Kirk was assassinated, who is in Valhalla now, where I will see him,
yes,
me and the other FBI guys flew to Utah to investigate, or at least find someone to charge with the crime. But when the plane landed, everyone had an official FBI jacket but me.
So what?
So what? That's the most important thing, dude. Optics, visuals, fucking Riz. People need to see you're in charge, especially me, because I am in charge of the fucking FBI. And that requires a special FBI jacket that says FBI on it. They look cool and they signify authority.
What is? And they make a special sound, right?
Yeah, they're windbreakers with that fabric. So when you walk, they go. People hear that and they think, "Oh shit, important people are here." How am I supposed to command respect when I'm not making that sound?
I hear you loud and clear.
So I'm like, I'm not getting off this fucking plane without a jacket. And they're like, please. And I said, no. And I crossed my arms. I'm a fucking leader. I said, get me a jacket. And all they had were larges and extra larges, which wouldn't work because they make those jackets all weird. They tailor them all wrong so they don't fit me right.
Uh-huh.
But I said, okay, I'll try it. So we took one of those big ones and sort of cinched the sleeves and tucked it in under my pants. And like smoothed it out. Yeah. So then we step out of the plane onto the tarmac, and you know, Utah is really windy, and I felt that wind, brother, and it kind of filled the jacket up and like inflated it, and I felt like one of my feet kind of coming up off the ground.
Oh no!
I'm like, yeah, dude, I can't be flying over a crime scene like fucking Mary Poppins over here. That's not good. So we went back in the plane. We thought about maybe weighing me down by putting rocks in my pocket, but we eventually scrapped that plan. So back to square one.
What did you end up doing?
Well, there was a non-standard size issue FBI jacket on the aircraft.
So you mean a girl's? You mean a girl's jacket?
What does that even mean, dude?
What do you mean? What does it mean? A jacket meant for a woman.
It was meant for whoever was wearing it. In this case, now me. I was wearing it, and it looked awesome. It fit perfectly, but there were no cool patches. So I refused to leave the plane without patches like a fucking leader of men.
Why did you need patches to go investigate a murder?
Because they look cool, dude. Wake the fuck up. So some of the other agents who were like snipers or some shit gave me their Velcro patches so I could put them on my jacket and look as cool as they do. The ones, the guys who actually earn the patches. But really, since I'm their boss now, I basically earn them too. Whatever they earned, I also earn because I'm above them.
Okay, I see.
So yeah, this is a story about me exercising leadership, commanding authority over subordinates, and getting shit done. This is the type of teamwork that is essential to solving crimes.
Yeah, and you really solved that Charlie Kirk case.
Fucking A right, we did. I did.
Just solved it 100%.
Fucking 200. Wait, are you being sarcastic? Fuck you, dude. It's solved as far as you know. Who cares what you think, dude? You're chopped and unk. The girls at the club think I'm fucking awesome as shit, and they believe I solve all the crimes personally like Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo
wasn't really the one who solved the cases.
I told you, dude, I'm on fucking drugs. Drugs, dude. Scooby-Doo could be real for all I know. And involved in Charlie's murder. In fact, you know what? If I tell an FBI agent to look into that, they have to do it. Because I'm the fucking director. What do you think of that, dude? I'm going to do it right now. Hey, check out the Scooby-Doo angle, Agent Magoo or whatever, and get me my fucking jacket with my fucking patches. To tell out, bitches, I'm 6'2". He really stood up for himself.
He really did. He really stood up for himself. It was great. He's my favorite. Hang on, let me.
He had a rough Thanksgiving, though. Poor guy.
That's what I hear. How's that?
Hello?
Hello, is that better? Okay. All right. Hey, this is Jimmy. Who's this?
This is Kevin Spacey. You're welcome.
Disgraced actor Kevin Spacey. How are you doing?
Jimmy, I am doing fantastic. I've never been better. Thanks for asking. Life is, as it has always been, a fabulous cavalcade of pleasures and enjoyments.
Okay, that's great to hear. Very relieved. Can you tell us more?
I am homeless.
Oh!
But don't worry, as I explained in an interview with the Telegraph, by that I simply mean my financial situation has deteriorated to the point where I no longer own a home. I'm not like outside all the time, dirty homeless.
I see. Where are you staying then?
Jimmy, I'm currently residing at various Airbnbs or hotels, wherever my gigs happen to be at the moment.
Oh, you're getting acting gigs again?
Not really, not occasionally. But really what is keeping me busy and putting food on my table is the nightclub lounge act I'm touring with.
Excuse me?
You can see snippets of it online.
No.
One internet asshole called it, quote, Frank Sinatra cosplay, but it's much more than that. Jimmy, like all true entertainers, I am at heart a song and dance man. And from the ashes of my financial ruination, I have been able to rediscover my true self. So yes, I have been delighting audiences all over the Eastern Mediterranean with my one-man act celebrating the American songbook. Fly me to the moon.
I see. Very impressive. Where exactly are you doing this?
Jimmy, I am huge in Cyprus. They can't get enough of me. That's where the clip was from. And that's among both Turks and Greeks. Both are at my show. I'm literally bringing people together with my music and my charisma. Jimmy, these pipes are healing centuries-old rifts. Peace in the Middle East.
Wow, how humanitarian of you.
I really sort of am the best person. Yes, thank you.
Do you have a home base of any kind?
Well, when I left the States, I sort of set up shop in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Yeah.
And that has been my home away from home ever since. Just the loveliest people, Jimmy. Just unbelievably lovely people, Jimmy, those Israelis. So welcoming to me.
I see.
And Jimmy, I have to say, it is simply so refreshing to be among people who don't care about this canceled bullshit.
Yeah.
And with the state of Israel, that's everybody. Every single person. Hell, the entire nation has been canceled collectively by the international version of the scolds who ended my career, all because of whatever it is they're doing in Gaza.
The genocide?
Right, exactly. Jesus Christ, let it go. And not to mention probably half of the male population has done some sort of Me Too shit. And a lot of the women, too, let's be honest. They're forward people, these Israelis. As I said in my interview, I acknowledge that in the past I have been handsy with people who I didn't realize didn't want that. So let's just say I found a new home in Tel Aviv.
Well, that's nice, I suppose.
I think so, too. And Tel Aviv is really just crawling with men who have fled other countries because of sex crime accusations. You know, there's a saying among the tribe, when a shiksa finally goes to the police, the best thing you can do is grab your yarmulke and your passport, booby. Israel awaits.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case.
Oh, for sure. I'm not only the only expat here, believe you me. And some of these guys have done stuff you wouldn't believe. No extradition treaty? Yes, please. So, yeah, there's a real sense of community here. It's a real scene, if you can dig it. We are pedophiles.
Not sure you want to sing that.
Are you kidding? That's my #1 requested song at the Tel Aviv Tiki Lounge and Cabaret.
Oh.
I always get a lot of love at the TLC. Every other Tuesday night, they basically give me the run of the place. I get to use the house orchestra, and boy, we really get cracking. We give them a show to beat the band, Jack, because me and those cats really swing together.
I see.
God may have chosen his people, but on Tuesdays, I choose the set list. But you can expect Sinatra, Billie Holiday, Tommy Dorsey, and of course, Bobby Darin.
Yeah.
And the best part is that since nearly every celebrity has boycotted Israel, I'm the most famous Gentile here at any given time. I'm finally a huge star.
You made it.
And all it took was the combination of the sexual harassment of teen boys and a genocide to make it happen. Just goes to show, never give up on your dreams, Jimmy. Evil wins again.
Okay, Mr. Spacey. Well, I'm glad that things are working out so well for you. And
don't forget the homeless part.
Right. Congratulations on being homeless and your success entertaining war criminals. And being a sex criminal yourself.
Thanks, Jimmy. I really mean that. I'll check in every now and again to let you know how I'm doing. Until then, fly me to the... Whoa, look at that teenager.
Of course he went to Tel Aviv. Of course.
Of course. Oh, that's true, by the way. I didn't make any of this up.
Yeah, that's what makes it funny. You don't have to make it up.
Huge in Cyprus?
Well, I don't know. Is he
based
huge
in Tel Aviv?
Is he huge in Cyprus?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, that's where he's performing.
Well, Cyprus is being now. There's a lot of exodus from Israel to Cyprus. Did you know this?
Well, they heard I was performing there.
Yeah. So I think that probably is it, right? I think that has something to do with it anyway. Anyway, wow, great job. Goes 2 great sketches. I appreciate it. Nice work. What you got anything you want to tell people?
Hey, just follow me on Instagram, Mike McRae Online, MACRAE. All my dates go up there. If you're in the Central Texas area, check me out.
FREE creditreport.com.
Oh, you remembered.
That's it.
MACRAE online.
Yeah, online. ComedyReport.com, baby. All right. All right. Great job, Mikey.
All right, y'all.
Talk to you soon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Questions. We have someone on the chat, Marlon Bethel, right? Like yourself, first-generation immigrant, NYPD police officer, rose to the rank of intelligence detective, terminated by the Eric Adams administration without due process, without a department trial, without ever being charged criminally or civilly for failure to take a vaccine. What are your thoughts on that? On your administration, would you hire Marlon Bethel back?
You know, I struggle on this in that I think it is, on the one hand, can absolutely understand the frustration. Ultimately, if you ask me today, would I be hiring Marlon back? I think I would fall on the side of no, because of the concerns around the necessity of upholding that public health mandate.
We all know now that the vaccine had nothing to do with stopping the spread of COVID. Nothing. In fact, the more vaccines you take, the more likely you are to get sick from COVID. We know that now. We know that the only people that were vulnerable to COVID were the elderly, just like the flu. Who said that? Bill Gates. It had a low fatality rate, COVID. Everything was overblown. We all know we were lied to about everything, and yet here he is still going along with the big pharma's position and the anti-worker position. That's who he is at his core. That's who he is. If he had a shred of fight in him for a worker, he would immediately reinstall those people. He doesn't have a shred of fight in him for workers, and if you think he does, you're a chump. Now, how did you know not to take the vaccine, Marianne?
I just wondered why the government cared about you if you lived or died on this.
All of a sudden, yeah. It's kind of suspicious. All of a sudden, the government gave a shit, right? Yeah, it's kind of suspicious. You know what it is? I think it's nice when it's always a good sign when the government forces something on you, right? You know it's going to be good. Did you have a job at the time, Marianne?
Absolutely.
What was your job?
Commercial real estate, industrial sales and leasing.
Commercial real estate. Wow, you're really getting into that shit. Commercial real estate, industrial real estate. And do you have your own company or do you work for somebody?
I'm now a dentist, and these are...
Whoa, okay. You got whiplash. You changed the subject so quickly. You went from industrial real estate to dentist? I want to be a dentist. How did that happen? How do you
I
go?
like to joke about that. When I walk into an elevator and someone says what I do, I let them know I'm a dentist.
You let them know you're a dentist. That is hilarious. Those are good jokes. South. Come on, Marianne. How do you go from industrial real estate to being a dentist? That's my question.
That's my joke,
That's your joke? Oh, I was wondering what the joke was. Good joke. We're loving it. Hi, welcome back. We got special guests with us. Nick Cruse, citizen journalist, geopolitical analyst, co-founder of the Revolutionary Blackout Network. He's here back with us. Please welcome back to the show, Nick Cruse. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hey, what's poppin', Jimmy? Always great to be here.
Well, what's happening is I saw your video. So Hotspot put out a video of you talking about Luigi Mangione, and it says he's not guilty. What the corporatist media is not telling you about the Luigi Mangione case. Let's listen.
Luigi Mangione is back in court today as his attorneys drop a complete bombshell, demanding that the court throw away obviously tamper with evidence. Luigi Mangione is accused of killing the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, but nothing about this story adds up. Remember Luigi Mangione's backpack, which very conveniently for the prosecution had the murder weapon in it? In a manifesto where Luigi Mangione confessed his crimes? Yeah, the police illegally searched that bag without a warrant mysteriously after Luigi Mangione was arrested. That is apparently where the police found Luigi Mangione's manifesto, where he confessed to his crimes, even gave a motive, and was 100% written by the feds. In his manifesto, Luigi Mangione apparently wrote to the feds, "I will keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country." Who believes this stupid nonsense? If Luigi Mangione wanted to respect the time of the feds and he wanted the world to know his motive and why he did it, why would he plead not guilty in court? Why is he demanding that this manifesto be removed from evidence if he truly wrote this and he committed the crime? They would have you believe that after days of being on the run, Luigi Mangione kept his murder weapon? It's obvious to me that the police planted the murder weapon and wrote this manifesto in order to pin the murder of Brian Thompson on Luigi Mangione. And the question that the American people should be asking is why? It will be hilarious and actually justice if Luigi Mangione got off scot-free from this because the feds got sloppy. You had to have a room temperature IQ to believe the official narrative about Luigi Mangione at this point.
All right, so let's bring in Nick. Nick,
Yeah.
that, you know, when you lay it out like that, it almost sounds like the FBI is fabricating a case against this guy.
They will never do that, Jimmy. You know, they will never do something like that.
I mean, every
So
time.
this is like my third or fourth video about Luigi Mangione.
Uh-huh.
And this is why I love Hotspot. Make sure you guys follow Hotspot on X because they let me cover whatever I want. We focus mostly on like non-mainstream news, anti-imperialist news, and whatever our like ruling class don't want us to know. And I know you noticed, Jimmy, that when the Luigi Maggioni case first dropped, the corporate media was all over it. Like
Yeah.
it was nonstop coverage of Luigi Maggioni, and then they saw public sentiment, and then they saw people like me questioning the narrative and realized that nothing they are telling us is making any sense on this story. And every single corporate media outlet dropped it, like suddenly out of nowhere. No one will mention it. No one will cover it, and they pretend that there's not a trial that is ongoing. And from the beginning, it was clear that what they was telling us about the story was complete nonsense. I think they should let Luigi Maggioni go. And if Luigi Maggioni kills another healthcare CEO, I guess he actually did it then, I guess. But nothing about the story actually makes any sense to me. And I broke it down that hotspot video. There's so much stuff I couldn't actually cover in that video because we tend to try to keep our hotspot videos nice and short. But he was found by like some random boomer at McDonald's, a complete state away. And Jimmy, do you guys know that because the state put a massive bounty on any information regarding Luigi Maggioni, that the police was receiving so many tips about Luigi that they couldn't possibly keep up? They said so. They said we receiving so many tips. We have to filter through them because so many of them is not credible. But they listened to this tip from this random boomer who just said this guy looks like the shooter, even though he looks nothing like the original photo that was shown of the shooter. And then they take this guy's word at face value, drive all the way to McDonald's to arrest this guy without any probable cause. Didn't read the Miranda rights, and then they seized the bag, and I covered this in my video. They seized the bag where they find a murder weapon and a manifesto that would be a prosecutor's wet dream. Doesn't pass the smell test. And they use the same techniques. Jimmy, I know you've been covering like the Tyler Robinson shooting. You notice how with Luigi Maggioni, they have bullet casings. He had the bullet casings, defend, oppose, deny.
Yeah.
The ruling class is so sloppy, they use the same technique, Jimmy.
The same
That's the ice shooter. And the Tyler Robinson, remember he had the bullet casing? Every one of these shooters with these mysterious stories are always some bullet casing enthusiast. Like the same tactics they're using, Jimmy, right?
It's kind of amazing that they use the exact same playbook with Luigi Maggioni as they did with Tyler Robinson. And not only that, so Luigi Maggioni he's carrying around a manifesto of him just admitting to the crime of shooting this guy and why he did it, and he's carrying it around. Well, why wouldn't he just turn himself in? Why did he then get in a car and drive hours away and he was a couple days later, he's at some McDonald's. He's still carrying the manifesto and the gun. And now he's pleading not guilty. None of that stuff makes sense that he would do that. Just like Tyler Robinson, immediately after the shooting, decides to tell his trans girlfriend every detail about the shooting in a text. It doesn't make any sense that he would do that. It's like, well, I didn't tell you this before, but now I feel like I should confess to the whole thing in text that the cops are going to definitely find. Here you go. So yeah, and they both wrote on their bullets stuff like crazy stuff, right? And so he was. It's weird. To me, it's beyond sloppy, right? It's almost like they want you to know it.
And the corporate media committed massive fraud. And almost everyone who covered this should lose their job because people are supposed to be considered innocent until proven guilty. You guys notice how every single corporate media outlet repeated the fact that Luigi Maggioni was guilty uncritically? They directly tampered with the trial. Because you want to know what video they did not show Luigi Maggioni, Jimmy? They didn't show any clips of when he was originally arraigned and brought out to the public. And he screamed that this trial is an insult to the intelligence of the American people and their lived experience. And you notice, Jimmy, not a single corporate media outlet showed that story.
That's right.
So if Luigi Maggioni had this message that he wanted to send to society with bullet casings, why would he say the whole case is an insult to the intelligence of the American people? Because it is. They grabbed this random guy because they needed to find someone to pin the murder of Brian Thompson on. Now, there's a lot of speculation on why they did this. You guys know that United Healthcare has a massive Medicare fraud suit that the board of directors is involved in. And we've seen the game plan with the modus operandi of the capitalist class. They're gangsters. They play for keeps, Jimmy. This CEO who's top of the United Healthcare, he definitely probably had some business dealings, some people in upper management he pissed off. So they had this guy who committed this great shooting and exit strategy. So if you flee into a scene like this, why? Like, once again, it made no sense. Like, if you are doing this murder, you flee the scene, get away with it. Why will you keep the murder weapon in manifesto? Why will you deny it later? Nothing about this story that they're telling us make any sense. I think they are going to execute this innocent man, Luigi Mangione, also because they couldn't let this murder go unsolved, because that would send a very chilling message to the American populace of this massive CEO billionaire guy being murdered and the killer not being found. So I think they're willing to sacrifice Luigi just to send a message to the populace that you won't get away with this. So there's a lot of different speculation on why they're doing this, Jimmy. That's why I'm talking about now, but I think none of it makes sense at all.
Well, isn't it interesting that Luigi Mangione and Tyler Robinson both were A-plus students, and they do the two dumbest things that you could ever do after murdering someone? Isn't that like he carries the murder weapon with him and his manifesto of confessing to it, and then immediately after the killing, Tyler Robinson texts his confession basically to his trans girlfriend. The two of the dumbest things you could possibly, and both of them are pleading not guilty, by the way. And if that kid turned himself in, why is he pleading not guilty, Tyler Robinson? So, but these are two really bad FBI bungle. I don't know if they're bungling. It's almost like they're bungling it on purpose to see how much we'll believe. Kind of like 9/11 and Building 7. Yeah. It's like, let's see if they'll believe this, that a building fell into its own footprint with that wasn't even hit by a plane. You know, it seems like something like that. Let's see what we could get away with.
Yeah, they're gangsters. The same way with Donald Trump issuing a pardon of the Honduras drug lord president. It's obviously a sham. Like, it's showing everyone that they can be openly hypocritical, but there's nothing you can do about it. Like they can plant evidence on you, and they can find you guilty of a crime that they committed, and they're just showing the American populace how powerless they are. It's actually a great power flex in a way. But yeah, Luigi, like you mentioned before, this guy who they want us to believe held stakeouts. Like, he had this highly planned assassination plot against Brian Thompson, extremely well planned, well organized, had an exit strategy. But this guy got sloppy because he was found in a random McDonald's. And that's another trend that they use, Jimmy. That all these shooters, they always found eating at some fast food restaurant because the American people, they just can't help themselves. They love to eat a burger. So if you're the most wanted man in America, like Luigi Mangione, why will you be found at a random McDonald's where you can be easily identified? Wouldn't you go underground for a few months? I'm not a crime expert, but like, why would you be so public with all the information and all the evidence that the prosecutors want on you? Once again, it makes no sense, and it should infuriate the American people that they tell us these kind of stories and expect us to believe it. There's nothing morally wrong with taking a story that the establishment tells you, taking a story that the government tells you, and telling them that they're full of shit. There's nothing morally wrong with that, right?
So here is how PBS reported it. It says Luigi Mangione watched stoically in court Monday as prosecutors played surveillance video showing the killing of United Health CEO Brian Thompson on a New York City sidewalk last year, and Mangione's arrest 5 days later, carrying the murder weapon and his manifesto 5 days later at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. The videos, including footage from the restaurants previously unseen by the press or the public, kicked off a hearing on Mangione's fight to bar evidence from his state murder trial, including the gun prosecutors say matches the one used in the December 4th attack. Mangione, 27, pressed his fingers to his lips and thumb to his chin as he watched footage of two police officers approaching him as he ate breakfast at the McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, about 230 miles west of Manhattan. So just like you said, they were overwhelmed with tips, the FBI. They couldn't, but somehow this tip they acted on, some guy from a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, says, I'm pretty sure this might be the guy, and they immediately dispatch people. So that also is suspect. He gripped a pen in his right hand, making his at fist high. As prosecutors played a 911 call from a McDonald's manager relaying concerns from customers that Mangione looked like the suspect in the Thompsons killing. The manager said she searched online for photos of the suspect, and that as Mangione sat in the restaurant, she could only see his eyebrows because he was wearing a beanie and a medical face mask. And the FBI acted on this. I can't really see he's got a face mask on, but I see his eyebrows. Chris Keene has eyebrows that look like that. Chris Keene, the guy who fills in for me here sometimes. Among the evidence Mangione's defense team wants excluded are the 9mm handgun and a notebook in which prosecutors say he described his intent to whack a health insurance executive. Both were found in the backpack Mangione had with him when he was arrested. Isn't that convenient? How convenient? After getting state terrorism charges thrown out in September, Mangione's lawyers are zeroing in on what they say was unconstitutional police conduct that threatens his right to a fair trial. They contend that the Manhattan District Attorney's Office should be prevented from showing the gun, notebook, and other items to jurors because police didn't have a warrant to search the backpack. They also want to suppress some of Mangione's statements to the police, such as when he allegedly gave his name as Mark Rosario because officers started asking him questions before telling him he had the right to remain silent. Prosecutors say Mangione gave the same name when he checked into a Manhattan hostel days before the killing. Eliminating the gun and notebook would be critical wins for the Mangione's defense and a major setback for prosecutors, depriving them of possible murder weapon and evidence that say points to motive. Prosecutors have quoted extensively from Mangione's writings and court filings, including his praise for the late Theodore Kaczynski, the convicted murderer known as the Unabomber. Among other things, prosecutors say Mangione mused in his diary about rebelling against the deadly greed-fueled health insurance cartel and wrote that killing an industry executive conveys a greedy bastard that had it coming. He added, and I hope they never catch my close personal friend Tyler Robinson, who plans to kill Charlie Kirk with a .30-06 rifle from a Utah Valley University rooftop next September. An officer searching the backpack found with Mangione was heard in body camera footage saying she was checking to make sure there wasn't a bomb in the bag. Because as a cop, you're always trained that whenever you suspect a bag may contain a bomb, the first thing you do is not call the bomb squad, but start rooting around in the bag. Did she also sniff it for evidence like they did in Syria? Yes, that sounds like there's something. I think there's a chemical weapon there. Let me smell that. Oh, yeah, there's definitely some. Anyway, his lawyers argue that was an excuse designed to cover up an illegal warrantless search for his backpack. A few dozen Mangione supporters watched the hearing from the back of the courtroom. One wore a green T-shirt that said, "Without a warrant, it's not a search, it's a violation." The state charges carry the possibility of life in prison. Mangione's lawyers wanted bar evidence from both cases, but there's blah, 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 blah. Well, the cops went through a lot of trouble to plant that evidence, and now you just want them to throw it out? Really? Wow, I don't think so. So federal prosecutors fighting the defense's push to exclude the gun, notebook, and other evidence from their case have said in court filings that police were justified in searching the backpack to make sure there were no dangerous items and that the statements to officers were voluntary and they were made before he was under arrest. So power to the people. There we are. Proud Socialist says the cops didn't read Luigi Mangione his Miranda rights until after illegally searching and detaining him. This means evidence collected at the Pennsylvania McDonald's is inadmissible in court and should be thrown out. The cops' careless and arrogant behavior is going to free Luigi. And one day New York will have Luigi Mangione Square, as Russell Dobler says after this. United Healthcare to drop Medicare Advantage plans for 600,000 people. That was from August 6th.
Crazy.
So anyway, yeah, I bet there will be a Luigi Mangione Square. I think it's my gut is that somehow, just like with this killing of the, just like when they blew up the Tesla truck in front of the Trump Hotel in Vegas, and that was a military guy, just like the guy who just killed the two National Guard people in D.C. was trained by the CIA. I think you're going to find that, just like that Ryan Routh was also working with the State Department, who have allegedly tried to kill Donald Trump at his golf course. So we're going to find out that all these people were somehow working in conjunction with the quote-unquote intelligence community. Luigi Mangione, there's something else here. They just didn't just pick him out of a hat. So I don't know if they were MK Ultraing him or mind controlling him, as we know that, of course, that they don't do that anymore. They would never do that anymore. The CIA, which gave unsuspecting citizens, they gave them unsuspecting citizens acid, LSD, just to see what happened, to see if they can control their minds. I'm sure they stopped doing crazy stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's more to this. And it's obvious that the FBI has concocted a story, as you pointed out, and not only this story, but the Ryan Routh story, but the story in Butler, Pennsylvania, the story of the Tesla on fire at the Trump hotel. These are all way too suspicious. None of them make sense. And I think it's to try to get a ramping up of the police. What part of it is certainly to get a ramping up of the police state and expand the surveillance state, which is Trump is doing. He's the perfect guy to do it. Just like Barack Obama was the perfect guy to give to kick people out of their homes and make the banks never miss a bonus payment, right? Because he was a black guy who you thought was going to be on the side of the workers. No, he was a black guy who was on the side of the bankers and the health insurance companies and big pharma. So because his natural base, Barack Obama's base, was against the banks and big pharma, so they got to bring in a guy to quiet them. Trump's base is against the national surveillance state, and so they bring in Trump, and he quiets them. They go along with what he's doing, and they're also against regime change wars, and he's doing one in Venezuela at the behest of Israel and the oil cartels. But anyway. There's much more to this, and if you believe, I think we can both agree on this, Nick. If you believe what the corporate news is telling you, you're a chump, right?
Yeah, I think the ruling class is emboldened right now, like with all these psyops, because they know that the ruling class corporate media will never call them out on it.
That's right.
They know that the CIA has weaponized the term conspiracy theory, so it's like shames the populace for even asking questions. That's why they are doing the Charlie Kirk executions. That's why they are willing to murder a CEO of United Healthcare. That's why you see them killing fishermen in Venezuela. What's international law after you allowed Israel to bomb a few hospitals or so?
Right.
We have the ruling class as a complete rebellion against the concept of social dignity, international law, and law and order in general. You saw that Donald Trump, he pardoned Henry Seller, the corrupt Democrat, earlier.
Yeah.
They are a completely lawless capitalist class that we live into. That's why they can do these heists. What are we going to do about it? Because in a sane society, this entire case should be thrown out, because we already explained why the manifesto is nonsense. So if you guys planted this manifesto in the bag, the entire case should be done. It should be completely thrown out and completely illegitimate. If just one of these theories that we have, Jimmy, is true, it's just one of them, it's true. Whether they planted the murder weapon, whether they planted the manifesto, that means the entire case is null and void. But it doesn't matter, because you know what, Jimmy? They're about to murder this guy. They recommended the death penalty for Luigi Mangione. Fam, we don't even apply the death penalty to pedophiles and rapists. You had Donald Trump flying Israeli pedophiles out. So pedophiles and rapists, they get slapped on the hand 20 years or so. Luigi Mangione, death penalty. It looks like they want to silence them forever, right?
Yeah.
Just something to think about.
I mean, this is right. This is on the heels of Trump just pardoning one of the biggest narco traffickers in the entire hemisphere, the former president of Honduras, and as he claims to be fighting a narco trafficking ring out of Venezuela. So none of it makes sense. Of course, it's no matter who you vote for, you get John McCain, and we're not going to be able to vote our way out of this, right? I mean, that's what it's. You know, I've said it before, but I really believe it now. There's really no way to vote our way out, especially after what you saw what Mondami did recently, right?
Yeah, I'm covering that tonight. That's why I wish I could stay longer, but I have a show I'm going to do. While I'm covering, there's like nearly 100 leftist organizations calling out Zohran Mamdani because he sold out faster than AOC. AOC and Bernie gave the playbook, and Zohran Mamdani sold out in record time. So you have many organizations who calling him out for that. So I'm glad to see people holding
Really?
him accountable.
Is
He's
the
completely shameless.
Is the DSA calling him out?
Few chapters of DSA that trying to do damage control.
Ha.
Because you guys know DSA as an organization voted to keep Hakeem Jeffries. That's why I call them Hakeem Jeffries Democrats at this point. They're
Yeah.
not serious socialists, not rebels. They as an organization voted to keep Hakeem Jeffries in leadership while Gaza is still being slaughtered by Israel.
I know.
These social democrats, they want to put Gaza behind them, Jimmy. They want nothing more than forget Gaza,
Yep.
organize with Zionists. That was Zoran Mamdani's doing. And for what? They selling out Palestinians. Zoran Mamdani smeared Nicolas Maduro as Donald Trump is about to wage a war against Venezuela. He smeared Cuba as Donald Trump is ramping up sanctions against them. And for what? Free buses? That's all it took? Free buses is all it took for you guys to sell out the Palestinians. While there is still a genocide going on in Gaza, the ceasefire was nonsense. We covered this in Hotspot as well. It was always nonsense. But the progressives are pretending it's not. And that's the devil's bargain that I despise. The idea you're going to sell out the global south because you want a bigger cut of the imperial pie. The promise that you're getting small.
Well,
nonsense. I find it morally reprehensible. It's not small disagree. You disagree with Zoran on so many small things. No, it's a big disagreement to morally sell out the global working class for a rent freeze. That's it. That's all it took.
Hey, where was Zoran Mondavi when we were doing Forced to Vote, trying to get Medicare for all for everybody in the United States? That's something that the Democratic, the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, it was in their own handbook, and they had to disavow their own handbook when it turned out that it could actually happen. So they like to talk about stuff, but when it could actually, just like Democrats like to talk about Medicare for all when they're not in power. So as soon as they're not in power, Bernie Sanders starts talking about it again. But as soon as the Democrats are in power, they never make a peep about it. And the same thing with the Democratic Socialists of America. As soon as their plan from their own handbook, which I got from their own handbook, to force a vote for Medicare for all on the floor of the House, when I tried to implement that, they turned on me and protected politicians. Yeah. And that's because the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, are completely infiltrated by the CIA and the FBI, and they're a garbage organization, and they're fake, and they're phony. I'm not talking about the members. I'm talking about the leadership of the DSA. I think a lot of people join that but with the right intentions and think they're going to do good work, and then they don't realize that they're actually working for the CIA, which is what the Democratic Socialists of America are doing. They're working for the CIA. Anyway, Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, that's such a great point. They would form these coalitions with Zionists, but they will never work with us. The reason why they didn't support the March for Medicare for All, the rally against the war machine rally, was because they're like, oh, don't you know that there are right-wing elements there? Don't you know that Jimmy Dore at the Medicare for All rally? That's why we can't show support for them. Meanwhile, they're 100% okay with organizing with Jessica Tisch.
Yeah,
have no problem organizing with Hakeem Jeffries. They spared us for years, Jimmy, as being a part of some sort of red-brown alliance. They're the red-brown alliance. The alliance between progressives and Zionists and the Democratic Party to get a rent freeze, that's the definition of what a red-brown alliance. But to be clear, it's more like a blue-brown alliance.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. They want to be caught dead at an RBM mutual aid event. I was organizing with Fred Hampton Jr., the chairman himself, giving away clothes, food. We hold these kind of programs. Savvy does a great job with Boston Mutual Aid. My friend James Fonteray, he has a mutual aid organization in Orlando. Jimmy, they never lift a finger to help RBM Mutual Aid. Jimmy had us on to promote our mutual aid events. He helped us out on that. But the DSA will never be caught organizing with you. Never will be caught organizing something that you're working on. But if it's a Democratic Party event like the No Kings rally, they'll be quick to show up to one of those, Jimmy. Yeah. They are orbiters of the Democratic Party, and they actually play a very harmful role to working class movements. That's why I call them out all the time, which is why they're not too fond of me.
Yeah. They came at me over me pushing something that they had in their own handbook, and that's when I knew they were phonies. Yeah. Anyway, Nick Cruse.
They came after me for talking to you. Just for talking to you, Jimmy.
Really?
Yeah, you don't know, man. They're like, how dare you do this to us, Nick, by talking to Jimmy Dore? Like the same way I talk to anyone. Like Jake Shields had me on this podcast. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sell my radical politics to his audience. Cancel for that. Like they are gatekeepers to the left. They're now smearing Shama Sawant. who is running as an
Of
independent
course
against
they are.
a genocidal Zionist Democrat, Adam Smith, and they refuse to support Shama Sawant against a Zionist because Shama Sawant said mean things about AOC. That shows how unserious they are. They want to back a Zionist and stop and not support a progressive just because Shama hurt AOC's feelings. That's how childish and how they were just gatekeepers. They're bad faith. I can write a whole book about it, Jimmy. They're so bad faith, man.
Yeah, they're the opposite of what they appear to be, some kind of rebel organization. They're there to make sure that all the revolutionary energy on the left gets funneled back into a pro-war, anti-worker party. That's what the DSA is all about. And if you don't know that by now, you're a chump or you're under 18 years old. That's you're
very well said.
That's it. Okay. All right, Nick.
Yeah, they exist. I said it 1,000 times before. The DSA exists to shift what it means to be a socialist to the right.
That's exactly right.
That's why they're propped up. That's why you will see all the DSA clowns like Emma and on them on CNN. They so comfortable around DSA people. They invited on corporate media all the time. Blacklisted from corporate media. Why do you guys think that is? They love the dumb, non-intellectual left-wing movements like the DSA. That's why they propped up. That's why the establishment likes working with them. But you guys know I can rant about DSA all day.
I know
they are so nefarious.
I know. This was supposed to be about Luigi Mangione, but somehow when you get me talking about the horrible DSA, I can't shut up. All right, everybody, check out the Revolutionary Blackout Network on YouTube. Check out Hot Topics. What's it called?
Hotspot. Make sure you guys follow Hotspot. It's Hotspot on X. Also going live on my channel, Nick Cruse. I have the homie Rathbone. He joined me tonight. We're gonna talk about the scourge of Jewish supremacy in the United States, which is one of the reasons why I'm banned on corporate media as well, because we had these kind of uncomfortable conversations. So I will be going live with Rathbone on my channel, Nick Cruse, and Revolutionary Blackout, and I post maybe around 4 to 5 videos a week on Hotspot. We cover Nico House. He's running this project. It's a great anti-imperialist news outlet. We cover anti-imperialist topics, anti-establishment topics, so make sure you guys follow us on there. Always great to join you, Jimmy.
Okay, great to talk to you. Tell Nico hello. All right, over to Steph.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Jimmy. That was great, Nick. That was terrific. Thank you so much. I mean, oh boy. Yeah, just that whole Luigi Mangione doesn't seem suspicious at all. Nothing weird. Nothing at all. Here we go. Please watch this commercial for Apple accessibility products. Utterly destroys infantilization and identity politics. It's brought tears to my eyes. The Drunken Scoundrel. I have shared it with the team. Thank you, Drunken Scoundrel. Jimmy Dore. We all are Americans and we all need the same things. Good schools, good jobs, healthcare, legal weed. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. John Small. What do we have here? Word. Nice work, Nick. Guy. Or is it Gee? Dear Mr. Spacey, I am Russian and I love your acting so much. You have such a marvelous range. I really hope you will star again in movies and TV. House of Cards collapsed without you miserably. And that is from, I don't know, Nico? I can't tell. Julius, hey, Jim Jam. Did you know your show is YouTube featured? Fucking bastards. Is it YouTube featured? Oh, my goodness.
What is?
Your show right now.
What do you mean?
They say it's YouTube featured.
You mean if I go into YouTube?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Candace courageously continues questioning the BS narrative as evil exposes itself through the gaslighting the masses. Blessings to the truth seekers. Thank you for that, Mountain Star Studio. Jimmy and the public. Lay's Real Talk podcast on YouTube has convincing evidence that China's population, get this, is missing 66% due to COVID-19. Savage, that is intriguing.
That was the goal.
Yes, that was the goal. That is right.
I don't think we hit our numbers. They're gonna have to do something else to kill us.
Yeah. They need to do better. Probably the bird flu is the one that they're coming after us.
Bird flu.
Jimmy, okay, so that was from Savage. Thank you, Savage. Kubrick, Cruse, Snake Eyes, Wide Shut, Minority Report, Mountain Star Studio.
Okay.
Back to Jim.
I'm here with Kirk Metzger. Hey, Kurt, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good to see you. I like your new outfit. Fantastic.
Oh, it's cold in my house. And then these sunglasses, I can't look at my phone as easy with these, but it is what it is.
I don't know.
So Mondavi did it again. I don't know if you know. I got to remember that joke. I call him Zoloft Mondami, but
Krav Magandi.
Is it is it Mamdani or Mondami? M-A-M? It's Mamdami? Mamdani? Okay. So he did it again. Mask off moment for Zoloft Mamdani. He sides with the imperialists, and he repeats the CIA pro-war talking points about Venezuela, which is probably the most disgusting thing he could do, being quote unquote being a socialist, calling another a socialist country, which it's barely socialist. Lots of capitalism happening in Venezuela, and but anyway, the people think socialist is like I don't know what they think it's like the old Russia, because
imagine the countries we fund their socialism. It's like that, assholes.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So here we go. Here's what he had to say about Venezuela.
I wonder if you're reluctant to call them dictators in Cuba and Venezuela.
I'm not reluctant. I just haven't thought about them that often. I'll be honest with you. I think that Maduro's government is one of repression. There's no question about it. And I think
it's in Cuba.
Sorry?
And also it's happening in Cuba since 1959.
And I think that the repression that, whether we're speaking about Cuban New Yorkers or Venezuelan New Yorkers, that they have had to live through is a repression that stands in a clear contrast from what our vision is.
So there it is. Obviously, whatever the mainstream news told us, what happened is exactly how it went down. I don't get it. He's just repeating what you get from CNN or Fox News or the Wall Street Journal. He's just repeating that stuff. He's not giving you a lefty perspective. What he's giving you is what used to be called a right-wing pro-war perspective, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's repeating that. So if you think that they're oppressive regimes, we have to go bring democracy to their people.
It's almost like you can't trust an ex-rapper turned politician who's groomed by the Soros boy.
That's exactly right. It's exactly what he is. I like this one. Obviously, Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. That's what he would be saying 20 years ago. He would have been saying that. That's who this guy is. And everybody's ejaculating in their pants over the idea that he might give them free buses. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're going to have free bus fare.
Are we communist?
We might have a citizen-run grocery store in Harlem. Really? Oh, my God.
Boy.
How is New York City not going to crumble?
I'm moving back.
Yeah. So I like Going Underground. Our good friend Ashvin at Going Underground, they tweeted this out. He says, Mamdani represents the segment of the left that parade themselves as democratic socialists, but then help manufacture the consent for Washington to continue attacking every socialist nation on earth. So you see how this works? You can't vote your way out of this. They make you believe you have a choice. You don't have a choice, as George Carlin told us. You have owners. You have owners. You don't have a choice. You've got 48 different kinds of ice cream. You got 2 political parties, and they both work for the exact same people. What's that?
You don't get medium, hot, mild even. You get, I guess, mild or too hot. Too mild, too hot. That's your thing.
None of these so-called democratic socialists ever realize that these countries, which have had successful socialist revolutions, are put under siege by the U.S. through campaigns of sabotage and regime change to overthrow the socialist revolutions that occurred through mass mobilization and popular uprisings, which is why socialism is on the rise. People want to call themselves socialists, the young people, because they're living in the fallout of end-stage capitalism where they can't own a house, they can't afford a car, they're in debt up to their ears if they get an education, they can't afford health care. They see what this capitalism system has brought them. What do you call a system that takes the richest country in the world and renders half of its population unable to afford a $400 emergency. What do you call a system that takes the richest country in the world and renders 70% of its workers living paycheck to paycheck? You call that a failed system. What do you say?
Managed decline?
Yeah, managed decline. This is when the oligarchs, what they do is they don't care that they're completely draining the treasury of the richest country in the world because they're filling it in their own pockets. And that's what wars do. People make a lot of money on wars. Hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars. There's $1 trillion war budget in the United States now that Trump brags about. $1 trillion. You know the next country doesn't even come 1/10 close to that?
Well, he was campaigning on cutting it in half.
Yes.
And somehow we did the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, the exact opposite. We raised it by about 50% of what it was 20 years ago.
So that creep can make AI and it isn't even as good as China's.
So, and I disagree with the idea that somehow Mamdani doesn't know what he's doing or he doesn't realize something. None of them are naive when they aren't in a position of power, right? It's only when they get power, all of a sudden he's like, oh, I haven't thought about it much. Oh, I don't know. Oh, is this really what's happening? I didn't know. While the U.S. Democratic Socialists, he puts that in quotes, Democratic Socialists, continue to achieve absolutely nothing meaningful and perpetually cave to elite power, facing the limits of the capitalist state system in the heart of the U.S. empire, they attack the movements of countries that successfully managed to actually achieve something, giving Washington's oligarchs and deep state even more justification to sabotage and crush these revolutions with an iron fist.
Yeah, well, we all saw DSA. Hey, don't clap. It hurts my ears.
Yes.
Snap instead.
Yeah.
We all saw that. So it's been compromised since at least then, probably before that.
Yes. We all saw the Democratic Socialists turn on their own playbook, which was forcing a vote for Medicare for all on the House on the House floor, House of Representatives. They completely turned on it and attacked me over it. I was reading from
Kevin McCarthy would be Speaker of the House, Jimmy, which he was anyway. And they were mad that they got rid of him.
I'm reading from their playbook, the DSA's playbook. I'm reading from it, and they attacked me for reading their own plans.
If that doesn't tell you how it works, here, I'll add something to it.
That's right.
I did Fighter and the Kid.
What's that?
They asked Brian Callen to run for office. Brian was telling me about it.
No kidding.
Because they did polling and people liked him. He didn't do it because he's a good guy at the end of the day, but that's how that works. That's how they got Mamdani.
Yep.
Somebody you get groomed for it by an oligarch.
The whole point of these democratic socialists like Mamdani, from the point of the view of Washington elites, is to pacify revolutionary socialism and working class power and present a watered down, useless form of socialism that disappoints the working class and causes the working class to turn to reactionary right-wing politics wrapped in neoliberalism, which, in the end, again serves the interest of the U.S. oligarchs to further concentrate the ownership of capital and national wealth, not only in the United States, but around the world through military intervention, sabotage, and regime change. Let me talk you about the revolution that happened in Venezuela. When they took it over, who was the guy? Who was the first guy? Chavez. Chavez took the people out of poverty by 50%. Gave people health care, gave people housing, gave people education. That's what people want from their government.
That's why we sent Sean Penn to kill him.
So just so you know, he had amazing gains, Chavez. By helping poor people, which is why he was popular. Which is why
he called W the devil. Remember, he was calling our leaders back then the devil.
That's right,
and he was right.
So I like this. It says, "Never ask a woman if she likes Taylor Swift. Never ask a man how much he spends on OnlyFans and gambling, and never ask Zoran Mamdani anything you don't expect him to walk back after he meets with wealthy Zionists."
I mean, I would ask all those questions of all of them personally.
Here's what I like. Here it is. Elections in the U.S. are all political theater to provide the illusion of choice and keep hope for change alive.
I know smart people that still haven't seen through Mamdani because they're afraid he's a real socialist. They really think he's a real
It's a-
he's a radical Islamic socialist, is what they think.
And just Gore Vidal, remember what Gore Vidal said? He said, there is only one party in the United States, the Property Party, and it has two right wings, Republican and Democrat. Republicans are a bit stupider, more rigid, more doctrinaire in their laissez-faire capitalism than the Democrats, who are cuter, prettier, a bit more corrupt until recently, and more willing than the Republicans to make small adjustments when the poor, the black, the anti-imperialists get out of hand. But essentially, there's no difference between the two parties.
Yeah, he's dead on. And remember, he wrote, you ever see that documentary? It's called United States of Amnesia. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. You should watch it. It's great. He keeps a picture of JFK on it in his office, or he did, to remind him never to be fooled again by a guy who's pretty and says the right things and then doesn't do the things. Like Obama, like the Obama lesson.
So somebody posted this because they think it makes what Mom Donnie did sound better. Here's the full, you know, the video I showed you at the top of this segment. Here's the full context. Rick 2307 6pat says a total real person.
Yeah, why?
Not a CIA bot. The total real person.
Yeah.
So Rick 2307 6pat. Okay. I want to be clear on where I stand. I believe both Nicolas Maduro and Miguel Diaz-Canel are dictators. So he throws them both under the bus. Their administrations have stifled free and fair elections, jailed political opponents, and suppressed the free and fair press. And yet our federal government's long history of punitive policies toward both countries, including extrajudicial killings of Venezuelans and their continuation of decades-long blockade of Cuba, have only worsened these conditions. Democratic socialism is about dignity, justice, accountability, and above all, it's about building a democracy that works for working people, not one that preys on them. If you think that makes that somehow better, I say go pound sand, because it doesn't. It doesn't. That's the part that's supposed to distract you from the first part. And the first part is him repeating CIA talking points, which is probably where this came directly from. That probably it was probably written by a CIA guy and handed to him. Go read this.
These are elected. Chavez didn't get in by a coup. He did have a coup at one point, but then he got elected because they hated their leaders that goddamn much.
That's right.
And so you can't call it a dictator. The free and fair elections where we put our puppet in there, the people there hate us and they hate our puppets that we put in. It's real simple. You would feel the same if they did it here. In fact, people do feel the same.
And if you'd like to hear my jokes about Zoloft Mondavi, you can come see me this Saturday in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, or January 11th in Waikiki, Hawaii at the Blue Note, or January 30th at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets over to stuff.
Okie doke. Thank you, Jimmy. My last comment is true. The CCP would deny it. Savage. I'll always enjoy your shows whenever you're in my town or whenever I'm in your town. Last week at Flappers was awesome. The dude from Iceland and his Mexican archaeologist wife was hilarious. Love Vegan Z. Vegan Z, thank you for your generosity. Hold on. That's for you, buddy. You sent it twice. And you sent me another one twice. And that's continue from the last rant, LOL. Love it when Jimmy interacts with the audience. Yes, he has a lot of fun with that. Thank you so much. Okay, going to continue here. Let's see. Oh, I didn't get that one. Hold on. This was JBGT3. This is interesting. When he was a young lawyer, Richard Nixon worked for, hold, Bugsy Siegel and Meyer Lansky's partner in 1940. That's interesting. I never knew that, JBGT3. La La Cha Cha. You need to see Due Dissident's intermission last Friday and a brilliant, hilarious stand-up comedian doing this take on Tyler Robinson being on that roof. I will check it out. Nick Cruse matches Jimmy's burning righteous energy. Thanks for having him on once a month at least. No kidding, right, Mark? Thank you for the recommendation. The great subversive critical thought. Thank you for that. Let me move that for you. Want me to turn on? Good day, Team Jimmy Dore. They are glass marbles in those scrotums, so you know. I meant to explain that in Brisbane, but I was a little tanked. Brisbane demolishers aren't known for our sobriety. Thanks for a great night. Come back soon. Steve, that was fun. We got the package. We could tell they were marbles. Hey, Gary Null gave the Jimmy Dore a shout out for having Mary Holland on. Thank you, Karen, for letting
Gary
us know
Null.
that.
He still does a show?
Yeah.
My mom loves that guy, Gary Null.
Look at you, Karen.
He used to be the big breadwinner over at KPFK and WBAI. I don't know what he's doing now. Is he still on WBAI?
Maybe.
They soured on him at KPFK like they do a lot of people, but do tell.
Why? Because of vaccine?
I think because of the vaccine.
You can show it, Jim. You want
I think because of COVID, probably.
Boy, all the people who thought the vaccine was good should shut the fuck up forever. That's my feeling, Jimmy.
Yeah, they're not going to. As you saw, when they come on the show, they still repeat the talking points from 5 years ago, Kurt.
I mean, how could you be that wrong and not find out even now that how wrong you were?
Even now. And I'm still waiting for the apologies. Like I say, I can forgive my friends for being 100% wrong about COVID and the vaccine and mandates and lockdowns. And masks, but they'll never forgive me for being right about all those things.
It's not convenient.
Isn't it interesting that they're angry at me still, but they're not angry at Dr. Fauci, who everyone now, even the government and the media admits, was the one who invented the COVID virus? He invented it.
And they were mad at him in the 80s. With the gays, they were with the gays, right? These are liberals. Yeah. So in the 80s, they were like, yeah, fuck. They saw Dallas Buyers Club, like, yeah, fuck him. They don't know anything. They're just mind-controlled slobs, all your friends. Sorry.
Yeah, you're correct. You are correct. I heard Jeff Dye's moving to Austin. Have you heard about that?
No, but I love Jeff Dye.
Yeah, me too.
I actually always have a
he
good
was
time.
In Melbourne when
I
we
saw
were.
Jeff Dye was in Melbourne the same night we were in Melbourne. I went and saw his show. It was
Really?
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that dude. Being when I my first date in Jenna, I went to a Halloween party with Jeff Dye.
Nice.
It was like the first thing I went to. Yeah.
Hey, Trump is pardoning another criminal, but this time before he's even convicted. He's doing what Joe Biden did with Fauci and those guys. He's pardoning them before they even got a trial. This time it's a Democrat. This time it's a Democrat. What's that?
You have the bets, right?
Oh, do I?
Mm.
Hang on, let me look. Do you have any Cuellar jokes from?
I mean, they're more points than jokes, but
from Kurt?
You know.
I don't see them. Oh, is that him? Oh, okay.
Hey, is this like that guy that shot those National Guard troops that Trump let stay in the country?
After
Biden let him?
Right. So there it is, Trump's announcement of a pardon for Representative Henry Cuellar of Texas. It's wild for several reasons. Let's watch this. This comes from CBS News. It is wild for many reasons. I wonder how long. Well, let's watch.
Breaking news into the newsroom. The president has just announced a pardon for Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar. Break that down for me.
This is surprising for several reasons. Let me just list them in order. First of all, pardons are typically for people who've already been convicted in their cases, made some restitution, acknowledged their guilt, tried to make atonement for it. Henry Cuellar hadn't even gone on trial yet. I mean, typically that's for a jury to decide whether somebody should be absolved or found guilty. In this case, the president, as you see from that Truth Social post.
By the way, nothing says I'm innocent more than being pardoned before your trial. It's like guys getting someone to sign a prenup on your first date.
I like to have a trial with a prenup personally.
Yeah.
Has pardoned Henry Cuellar before the case even went to a jury, before it even went to trial. Henry Cuellar is a Democrat from Texas in a uniquely competitive district where the argument could be made Henry Cuellar, despite this legal matter, could be the only Democrat who could hold that seat. He's now been absolved and can safely run for re-election for the Democrats next year. The third issue here is this is a significant case. This is not jaywalking. Henry Cuellar is accused of acting as an illegal foreign agent on behalf of Azerbaijan while serving in the U.S. Congress, engaging in a bribery scheme along with his wife, who also appears to have been issued clemency.
So Henry Cuellar was taking bribes from a foreign country, Azerbaijan, which sounds bad, sure, yeah. But you have to understand, Azerbaijan is the strategic energy partner of Israel.
Oh, well, then he's a good guy.
So he's a hero.
Yeah.
So Trump got that's what this is about. Trump got this. So that's what we're going to find out later. A lot of why Trump is going into Venezuela has to do with Israel. And now he's pardoning Cuellar, a Democrat. Why would he do that? Because Israel told him to do it. And he's Israel's bitch. That's why he did it. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Israel got Trump to pardon a Democrat. As the Republicans are set to lose control of the House, Marjorie Taylor Greene's leaving, a bunch of other ones are leaving. They're going to lose control of the House for sure. And he's now making sure and if Cuellar wasn't there, a Republican would take his seat. Trump is making sure the Democrats hold that seat. Why would he do that? Israel told him.
Right. You don't get to know what the real parties are, ever.
That's right.
You see the name Imelda Cuellar on that Truth Social post. She was his co-defendant. Henry Cuellar's co-defendant in the case. That case now ends in the Southern District of Texas, where Henry Cuellar represents.
Really curious.
Really curious. I love that understatement by the news person.
I mean, it took me 3 seconds to look up the thing about Azerbaijan and Israel. You couldn't look it up? You're not that curious.
Of course, they're not going to tell you that, right?
Yeah.
So the CBS News is not going to tell you that, oh, yeah, he was actually working with Azerbaijan, which is a strategic energy partner with Israel.
Yeah, Armenians are being killed by Azerbaijan now. And famously, that's where... It's all that pipeline shit, where they had to make sure that
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just that.
Yes. So here's how CNN reported it. In 24, Cuellar and his wife were charged with accepting $600,000 in bribes from 2 foreign entities in an alleged scheme that took place from late 2014 through at least November 2021, according to the indictment. Cuellar has denied any wrongdoing. Trump's Truth Social post announcing the pardon include images of a letter from the Cuellar's daughters last month asking the president for compassion and clemency for their parents. Are you effing kidding me? What? And okay. Anyway, President Donald Trump, this guy sounds like a real Eric Adams anyway.
Yeah.
President Donald Trump announced Wednesday he's issuing a full and unconditional pardon to Texas Democrat Representative Henry Cuellar and his wife, Imelda, using a lengthy social media post to accuse the Biden administration of targeting political opponents, even within his own party. One of the clearest examples of this was when Crooked Joe used the FBI and the Department of Justice to take out a member of his own party after highly respected Congressman Henry Cuellar bravely spoke out against open borders and the Biden border catastrophe. So that's how he's trying to sell this to his supporters.
Yeah. And you know what? It might be because of that, but the guy's corrupt. You're never getting someone not corrupt. You're getting my gang's corruption is okay, and your gang's corruption is not okay.
Henry, I don't know you, but you can sleep well tonight. Your nightmare is finally over, Trump continued. Responding to the pardon on X, Cuellar thanked Trump for his tremendous leadership and for taking the time to look at facts. The pardon gives us a clean slate. The noise is gone. The work remains, and I intend to meet it head on. And I can't wait to start spending that $600,000, eh?
Yeah, the bottom line is he did it, but I'm sure Biden was persecuting him, but Trump's going to overlook the bribery thing because it's a political opponent. He's not going to punish, by the way, Biden or Comey or any of these people.
Right? No, none of those people. Fauci, none of those. They're not. None of those.
There's no jail time coming. Bannon was wrong about that one, huh?
What's that? What did he say?
Bannon was like, "Oh, people better get ready for jail time." Remember, everyone was Google searching painless self-ending methods and getting a lawyer because they thought there was going to be some retribution when Trump got in, and nothing happened.
The 11-term congressman who filed for re-election Wednesday as a Democrat has been likely to face a competitive re-election in a Trump-won district that Republicans are targeting, making the president's pardon a puzzling move as his party tries to defend its majority in 20. He's doing this because, as Kurt found out, I'm telling you, this is because of Israel. When it doesn't make sense, it's because of Israel. When Trump says Biden shouldn't be bombing Yemen, that we could solve this with a phone call, and then Trump bombs Yemen, the first thing he does when he gets in office, it's because of Israel.
They solved it with a phone call. Hey, Trump, bomb Yemen.
That's right. That's right. Asked Wednesday, Cuellar, if he'll change parties. He says, no, like I said, nothing has changed. And Cuellar said he did not cut a deal with the White House to earn the pardon. No, it came from Israel. No, he told, the congressman said he didn't know that it was coming, adding that he would go to a White House Christmas party next week and would thank the president personally. Maybe bring him a nice new ballroom gift, if you know what I'm talking about, right? New ballroom warning. You got $600,000 laying around. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries also dismissed questions about whether the congressman would leave the party. Henry Cuellar is a highly valued member of the House Democratic Caucus.
Oh, well, clearly.
And I expect, so when him and Trump, just like what George Carlin said, when it's bipartisan, there's some real fuckery coming your way.
Well, Hakeem Jeffries loves Israel, and he does his
exactly
famous rapping
right.
speeches. That's how, to me, that cements it.
That cements
he goes,
it.
he's highly valued. Yes, by Israel.
Okay. Republicans have been eyeing Cuellar's Texas seat, and they look to pick up seats next year. He's targeted by a new map Texas Republicans drew this year, which is currently in limbo, awaiting a ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court. But the congressman has been remarkably resilient, surviving primary challenges from the left and continuing to win in southern Texas, even as Republicans have made gains with Latino voters, and the area has become less friendly to Democrats overall. In 24, Cuellar won by 5.6 points, even as Trump won his district by 7 points. The new version of Cuellar's district would have voted for Trump by more than 10 points. However, the new map also shifts some areas back into Cuellar's district that he had represented before the state's 2021 redistricting. Cuellar was first elected in 2004. He's among the most conservative Democrats in the House. He's long opposed abortion rights and has advocated for tougher border security. Cuellar voted Wednesday that he'd beat the far left in a primary. If they want to spend another $20 million, we'll win it. But this is a conservative district, and I'm going to win it. Okay, so here's Pamela Brown. House Minority Leader Representative Jeffries tells me that with Blitzer that President Trump's decision to pardon Democratic Representative Henry Cuellar was exactly the right outcome.
Yeah, Israel told him it's right, so it's good.
So, by the way, nowadays being conservative means you work for Azerbaijan. That's what being a conservative is?
Anybody Israel tells you, you just do it, buddy.
Okay, watch this.
President Trump has announced a pardon of the Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar and his wife, who were charged with bribery. What's your response?
Well, Congressman Cuellar is a beloved member of the House of Representatives, loved in his community, particularly in Laredo. I've had the opportunity to spend time with him down in Laredo in South Texas. I look forward to that moving forward. Listen, the reality is this indictment was very thin to begin with, in my view. The charges were eventually going to be dismissed, if not at the trial court level by the Supreme Court, as they've repeatedly done in instances just like this.
So just to follow up on that, do you agree?
So why do you think Joe Biden's Justice Department prosecuted him, a sitting congressman in the Democratic Party? That's not your follow-up question? No, let's listen.
With the president's pardon here, do you think that was a good thing then?
I don't know why the president decided to do this. I think the outcome was exactly the right outcome.
Well, Congressman Cuellar, we should note, is one of a handful of House Democrats who sits in a district President Trump won in 2024. So now he has this presidential pardon. Have you had any conversations with the congressman about him potentially switching to the Republican Party?
I think Congressman Cuellar is a highly valued member of the House Democratic Caucus, and I expect that he'll continue to remain a highly valued member of the House Democratic Caucus.
What about re-election plans? Has he informed you of that?
No, I think the filing deadline in Texas is upcoming in the next few days. Many of the members of the Texas congressional delegation have yet to file for re-election. I expect that we'll see that happen in advance of the Monday deadline.
So that's the leader of the Democrats in the House. That's why I showed you that. He's the leader.
He's a real Joe Lieberman.
He's a real
Cuellar.
Trump pardons Democrat Henry Cuellar, who was indicted on bribery and money laundering charges. Cuellar sold out his district for $600,000 in bribes from a foreign government. Bribery and corruption is what both parties do best, and this pardon will only encourage more of it. And by the way, here's all the criminals that Trump has pardoned. With the pardon of Representative Henry Cuellar, who had been accused of bribery and corruption, President Trump has now pardoned 12 members of Congress, 10 Republicans and 2 Democrats, all but Cuellar had been convicted. So all these people had been convicted: insider trading, campaign corruption, lying to the FBI, extortion, bribery, tax evasion, corruption. They've all were convicted. Trump pardoned all of them because he wants you to know that crime does pay.
Well, some of them, the Rod Blagojevich, I know there's some argument as to whether he should have been convicted. It could have been lawfare, but the point is, you don't get to ever know the real reason any of this happened.
That's right.
That's the main thing.
Here's Nick Cruse, who was just on with us, says Donald Trump pardons corrupt Democrat Henry Cuellar. The two-party system is a scam. We have a uniparty where the capitalist elite keeps sending a loud message that they are above the law. Exactly.
Yeah. That's how you know Trump sucked Clinton's dick, and that's real.
You want to hear?
Is there any better illustration of the one-party system than Trump blowing Bill Clinton and not putting Hillary in jail, like he said?
Didn't put Hillary in jail.
Yeah.
If you want to hear my jokes about that, come see me this Saturday in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. I'll see you January 11th in Waikiki, Hawaii, or January 30th in Los Angeles at the Comedy Store. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. You go anywhere else, you're going to pay more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. See you there. Over to Steph.
Talk to him. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What man in the 21st century keeps a diary? Luigi is just a pasta. I want to know where Chris Keene was that day. And that's from Gavin, right? We all do. Hitler spied on the NSDAP before he became leader. Savage. MK Ultra mind control patsy cases continue. Cover up. And that's from our friend at Mountain Star Studio. Show me the man and I'll show you the crime. KGB. Savage. You should be giving more health insurance executives the Mangione treatment. Whoa, Rorschach. The American people have intelligence? Savage. Come on, that seems insulting. I reckon they are throwing shade on the Chinese numbers to give you hope. When they send you against them, you might stand a chance head to head. Was nice to see you in Brisbane. Come back soon, eh? Dobther, we loved Brisbane. Are you kidding? We can't wait to go back. I can't believe it's beautiful there. Brisbane is something else.
It is a beautiful city. I love humidity. Jimmy. So if you like humidity, Brisbane's the place for you. I do like humidity. Hey, Brightcourt Nutrition and I want to support our listeners' health this holiday season with a Kimchi One giveaway. We'll be giving you a free bottle, one of these things. I take these every day, Brightcourt's Kimchi One, to the first 50 people, a free bottle to the first 50 people who sign up using the link in the description. The best gift we could give you or to your loved ones is your health, and we're hoping to support you all this holiday season. Just click the link in the description or go to my brightcourt.com/door giveaway. So that's brightcourt.com/door giveaway, and you get a free bottle of Kimchi One, which is fantastic for your gut biohealth. The whole deal gets rid of your microplastics. I take it every day. It changed my life. Over to you.
All right. I don't have any microplastics right now because I'm taking that kimchi. You can't tell, but they're gone.
I ate a credit card yesterday.
Oh, gee, you want to avoid doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
we'll be sending you a bottle of Kimchi One to help you with that.
Should we go to...
All right. Let me make sure we're all ready to rumble. Let me give them a link in there, and we're going to make our move. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Linking. And then I'll read the rest of your cool stuff when we get over there. Hold on. Let me pin that for you, ladies and gents. Pinning. I know you're like, don't tell me what you're doing. I'm going to tell you. I don't care if you get all grumpy. You want smooth like mainstream media. Well, that's not how it's going to roll here, folks. All right. Let me do one more thing. I got to refresh one thing just to make sure I get all your Rumble rants. Stand by. Hold on. This takes a minute. You're like, why doesn't she have this already? Because it's not that easy. All right. I got to find that one more thing and then refreshing. And we're good to go. See you there.